Roll.
3, 2, 1.
Good afternoon. It's Robert and Julia Miller with Rethink Real Estate with another exciting and riveting real estate update.
So exciting. Just wait.
Been a couple weeks, so there's been a little bit of activity in news, a lot of repeat. So
we'll be brief, or somewhat brief.
We'll be somewhat brief. So we'll start out with a little humor, review some history, go over the most recent news. We just had the Cromford Report, so Julia will give us an update on what came out of that.
Yep.
Go over interest rates, and then we will wrap it up with inventory.
Yeah.
Please like and subscribe so that we can continue to grow our viewership.
Right.
We like to bring you these videos to kind of keep you up to date on what's going on Valley real estate issues. If there's anything that you'd like us to cover, please let us know.
Yeah, hopefully you're enjoying those garden updates. Robert is wearing himself out.
We are actually going to go plant some in the morning.
Tomorrow
Hallelujah.
morning. Yeah.
I feel like I've just been building the thing
Forever, yeah. But we're getting there. I think it's going to be well worth it this fall for sure.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
All right, you got a little humor for us?
I do.
Lay it on us.
Well, when women get to a certain age, they start accumulating dogs. This is known as menopause. In my case, it's cats.
Cats, yeah. We do have 2 new additions, and
cats,
we're enjoying them very much, and they are finally settling in, I think.
They're very, very active, so it's been fun.
Yeah.
It's been very fun.
They seem to be enjoying themselves.
Yeah.
Okay, in Star Wars, anyone can hop in any spacecraft and they know how to fly it. You ever notice that?
That's true.
I just spent 20 minutes trying to find the headlights in a rental car.
Right. And they're probably auto.
Probably
auto
daylight
lights.
running, yeah. All right, moving on. Let's look at a little history this week. It was an interesting week in the past.
Big historical week.
Obviously, number one, and we will never forget, 2001, 4 hijacked airliners hit U.S. targets September 11th, killing more than 3,000 people.
Yeah.
God rest their souls.
Do you remember where you were at?
I was at work. I remember being at work, and it was quite the shock.
We called each other pretty quickly.
Mm-hmm.
I was at home that day. I don't know if I was working from home. I think I had made a sales run or something. I was in sales at the time with Singular Wireless in Illinois, and I had gotten home I hadn't even left home because it was in the morning.
Yes, it was morning.
Yeah, so I hadn't even gone anywhere, and I remember us talking and us just watching the television. Right? It's shocking, shocking.
Hard to believe.
So,
okay, moving on. 1949, the Ladies Professional Golf Association,
LPGA,
thank you, of America is formed September 13th.
September 13th. So tomorrow is the anniversary for that. So
1949.
Excellent.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, in 1913, the Lincoln Highway, the first coast-to-coast U.S. paved road, opened September 10th.
Wow.
1908, General Motors is formed September 16th by the merger of Buick and Olds. I didn't know that.
Oldsmobiles,
Right.
yeah.
1901, Teddy Roosevelt becomes U.S. President September 14th when William McKinley is shot.
Yes.
And finally, 1814, on September 14th, Francis Scott Key writes the poem The Star-Spangled Banner. So those are a few things that have happened in history this week.
We'll move right into news.
Let's do a little news real quick. Economic news. Treasuries rise, and I think you're going to touch on this, right? in the Cromford Report?
No, we discussed it during the Cromford Report call. Yeah, it's an inverted yield phenomenon.
Oh, okay.
And you touch on it better than I did because it went right over my head, right by me.
All right. Well, treasuries rise. The 2-year treasury yield rose by nearly 4 basis points to 4.993 last week as strong economic data raised concerns about future interest rate hikes. So that's basically the market responding
yeah. I think the biggest thing there is that it was higher than the 10-year, I believe. Don't quote me.
Okay.
But I believe that's the inversion part of it.
Okay.
So.
Amid fears of a sustained inflation and a tight labor market, stronger data could influence the Federal Reserve to act at its November meeting. So
yeah, we keep talking about the November meeting, but I'm pretty sure. Well, I know there's September, and I think there's also October. But anyway, maybe they're not planning to raise it in October because they just talk about September and November.
We'll find out. It's coming up. Okay, credit crunch. Nearly 60% of American consumers say that obtaining loans, credit cards, and mortgages has become more challenging, a number that has been steadily rising since early 2022, coinciding with the Fed's interest rate hikes. That's not surprising.
Right.
Worries about job security are on the rise despite a relatively low unemployment rate. And I think that's probably due to, despite the low unemployment rate, some of the big tech companies have done some huge layoffs
Okay.
out of the blue. So I think that's probably where that...
as far as the unemployment numbers go? Yeah.
Yeah, or the worries.
The worries.
You know, even though the markets... there's still layoffs. So.
And we'll touch on that a little bit for the Phoenix market and answer the question, how will Phoenix fare, or how would Phoenix fare in a recession?
Right. They're still talking recession.
Yep.
All right, moving on to housing news. House rich. This is great news. Americans have significant home equity. With prices surging, homeowners now hold nearly $30 trillion in home equity.
Trillion with a T.
That's a lot of zeros.
That's a lot of zeros.
And this is approaching the 2022 peak. So that's pretty remarkable in itself. This equates to approximately $200,000 in available cash per homeowner.
Okay.
So that's fantastic. Tipping point. Surveys show homeowners are reluctant to sell if the mortgage rate is 5% or higher, and more than 70% who plan to purchase their next home with a mortgage say they would not accept a rate above 5.5%. So we're at an impasse here.
Yeah, well, you're not going to get a home right now.
Buyers aren't buying, and the rate is over 7%. So.
Yeah, now some of the new home builders are still doing lower home rates, but they are still over 5. They're closer to 6. And, you know, I understand that statement or those statements. But I feel like there are some people that will still move, as we did. We still moved. It was just time for us.
Yeah, sometimes you just don't have any choice. You have to. But I think that's probably a pretty small percentage.
Yeah.
Which is reflected in how low the number of sales are right now.
For sure. Yeah, things are slow.
Single family slowdown. Construction of both single family and multifamily homes are slowing across the U.S. due to rising mortgage rates and elevated construction costs. The largest annual decline has occurred in large metro counties, dropping 24.8%. Micro counties saw the smallest decline, falling 8.7%. So could that still be
about why that would have been
residual from the work at home?
Work at home, let's move out to the suburbs.
Yeah, there was a big move out away from cities during the pandemic when people were able to work at home.
Yeah, less commuting, less, you know.
And we're still seeing I know a lot of people who are working a hybrid. You know, they have to be in the office a couple days, but they're at home the other 3.
Yeah, a lot of our municipals, the city of Phoenix, city of Peoria, offer some positions that do that hybrid work week.
Right. So it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah.
Regulatory news. Fed officials are dovish. So this is kind of the
Dovish.
opposite of the way the market responded with the Treasury
Is that
yield.
really a word? Dovish?
Most Fed policymakers are optimistic they have reached the end of their current cycle of interest rate hikes, with the focus shifting to how long rates should stay high to reach the 2% inflation target.
Okay.
Which could be an extended period, and I tend to agree with that. I think this is going to be dragging on to actually get to that 2%. I think it's going to be
a lot of the economists and things do. I think the chief economist with the First American title, Mark Fleming, believes that we will remain high into 2024.
Yeah, I'm hearing that a lot too from several.
Yeah, so.
Okay, and then they quantify it. All note more increases could be needed depending on how the data shakes out.
Yeah.
So
kind
of leave the door
there.
Leave the door open a little bit.
Right.
All right, that's your news. Julia, you want to kind of give us a summary of what was talked about on the Cromford Report?
Cromford Report. Yeah, just kind of a quick summary. Things are pretty much stable, pretty stable. You know, there's no huge crash coming. There's no big bubble coming. There's no bursting of the bubble. There's none of that. None of that. One thing that she did kind of defunct, Tina Tambour, I think it's Tambour, sorry Tina, of the Cromford Report said, well, the Case-Shiller index did come out, and it said prices are rising. Really? Are they?
Depends on where you live, maybe. That's a national report, so maybe, but here in the Valley, not so much.
Right, not here. They're pretty flat, actually, as Robert will show us when we look at some of the highs and lows of the subdivisions that we go over. But the Cromford Market Index, June to June, is down 6.4%. So pretty flat. And the reason why we say June to June is because this Case-Shiller Index actually covers June, May, and April. So it's 2 months behind.
Yeah.
Covering those 3 months.
And we remember the peak was in May, so they were kind of right in the middle there. So they're getting some of the previous data. So
year over year, September to September, and we're only a few days into September, 12 days into September, we're at a minus 1.2%.
Okay, that's pretty
flat.
Yeah.
Pretty flat, yeah. Median sales price is down 1% in September so far. So again, pretty flat. Average sales price to square foot is up 2.6%. So that's interesting. Different side of it. Still a mild seller's market. We're hoping to be able to move towards the 5 to 8% appreciation towards the end of the year. I think that's wishful thinking, hopeful thinking. Honestly, I think 5% is going to be more likely. Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Okay. Accepted contracts are not good. Not good. It's very slow.
That was a shocking number.
Very slow, yeah. Accepted contracts, so listings under contract, 1,215.
Wow, that is extremely low.
That's so low. Active listings are at 12,200, as Robert will share with us as well. So that led us to believe, and we kind of talked for a little bit about that inversion and why the higher interest rate on the 2-year bond was better than the 10-year. If I'm understanding it correctly, like I said, it felt like it was not making any sense. So I may not be making any sense. But basically...
What are we doing here?
Yeah, exactly. How will Phoenix fare in a recession? Speaking to that, will fare quite well. Growth is happening all over the valley. Homes are still going up. In fact, go back and watch our Mason Ranch video I just put out.
Oh, nice.
So I will link to that in the video. Lots of building going on out there. In that area, Mason Ranch is just a small part of the overall growth in that area.
That's
It's
Surprise, right?
It is Surprise.
Okay, that is just booming out there in that area.
Yep. So owner-occupied homes. So when we talk about this is of the listings that are currently available on the market, who's selling? Owner-occupied is 77% of them.
Okay.
So that's back to normal. It's showing a good,
that's kind of
healthy
a
market.
healthy, normal market. Yeah.
Investor and iBuyer is only 13.5%. Again, a very normal number. We're going to have some percentage of that. And then second homeowners selling are 8.9%. So not bad at all. A lot of the second homeowners will start putting their homes on the market if they're going to sell.
Yeah, and I'm going to
winter.
touch on that when I cover the inventory.
Okay, sounds good. So again, the Cromford Market Index is actually down compared to July. July we were at 163.
Right.
We're now at 153, but still in a seller's market. Still
moving towards a buyer's market a little bit.
We've got upward pressure on pricing. The demand index is down 1.4 points. And then the supply, of course, is rising. Demand falls, supply will rise. Exactly the same number, 1.4. So we have balanced markets. The balanced markets in the valley now are Goodyear, Maricopa, Queen Creek. Casa Grande is barely in a buyer's market. It was funny, she kept emphasizing this. It's because the number of sales is so low.
Oh, okay. It's skewing the number.
Yeah.
Okay. I was wondering.
Yep. So Surprise is seller's market at 142. And again, this is an index for the Cromford Market Index.
So sellers by 42 points.
Right. We've dropped by 4%. I think, again, that's normal for this time of year. Surprise is at 120.5, dropping by 8%.
Pretty substantial.
So they're still in seller's market. Surprise might be a little lower in the Cromford Market Index because there's a lot of new homes being built. I don't know. I'm just speculating. That may have a bearing on it. So the number of sales may be greater and things. So what else here can I tell you? Price reductions still fairly low. Sellers just aren't feeling the pressure to lower their price.
Right.
1,394 of overall listings saw a price reduction, so that's 12% of the market. Closings involving seller paid closing costs is down to 41%.
Let me derail you for a minute there.
Okay.
I wonder, back to that lack of price reductions.
Okay.
I wonder how many of the sellers are not affected by the interest rate. In other words, they own their home outright. They're cash.
Oh, yeah.
So, they're not under that same pressure.
Right.
Maybe?
Especially in the active adult markets that we talk about a lot on this channel. We talk about, now you're leveraging your money. Yes, I may still finance a portion of my new home purchase, but again, because I had so much equity from before, I don't need to finance the whole thing,
Right.
So I'm leveraging my money that way. So
yeah, good point. Interesting.
yeah.
Continue.
Okay. Let's see, where was I? Seller paid closing costs down 41%. In January, we were at 52%. So currently, the median amount being given by sellers at closing would be $7,500.
Okay.
Closings over asking price are at 22%. Median days on market, 21%. Rental supply is flat and pricing is flat in the rental market. The median rental price is at $2,200. So
It's still a lot.
It's high. It's so
but
high.
at least it was on such a trajectory for the longest time. I'm glad it's at least leveled off.
Yeah. So to quickly go over our 12-month change. So this will be August to August. 12 months change, the average sales price per square foot, price per square foot, has decreased 2.4%. Median sales price down 11,900. Sales price over asking price, or sales over asking price, is up to 21% from 18. Seller concessions to buyer is at 43%. Last August we were at 28%. So
sellers didn't have to do anything.
Yeah, that's definitely grown.
Times have changed a little bit.
And the median concession to the buyer has also increased from 5,000 to 8,000. So, sales price to list price ratio is at 98%. So that's actually increased.
Yep.
Still have about 2% below asking price. Median days on market are down to 19. So, homes are selling.
Yep. Well,
homes are selling.
Not at the rate that we would expect or historically expect, but yeah.
Well, yeah, because our inventory is not where it was historically either. So
true.
Right.
Okay, moving on to rates. They actually dropped across all three indexes this week.
We'll
not a lot, but
we'll take
the
it.
30-year went from 7.219 to 7.144. 15-year 6.707 dropped to 6.689, and the VA dropped from 6.994 down to 6.829. So
hey,
hopefully
you know what?
it can continue to trend that direction.
Yeah, to add to that, the CPI report comes out tomorrow, so we'll know more as far as how the economy is weathering. And then next week is when the Feds meet. So hang on.
All right. So inventory, everything is pretty much across the board eking up just a little bit, I think is the best way to put it. Valley, 11,596. We're now at 12,200, so that eked up about 700. Peoria is up as well, went from 339 to 370, and Surprise went up from 634 to 653. Closer to home, Trilogy at Estancia jumped up from 17 to 24. It looks like most of the active adult I'm seeing going through here, they all are starting to see sellers listing their home as we get closer to the season. That's what I'm reading into this. So Trilogy at Estancia has 24 homes available, price range $475,000 up to $1,195,000. That's average cost per square foot of $344.
Bring your checkbook.
Vistancia Village also up from 32 to 38. Most affordable $424,900. Most expensive $999,900, and their average cost per square foot is $266. Blackstone Country Club is flat at 7. Most affordable $895,000. Most expensive remains at $3,280,000. That's a average cost per square foot of $475. Portobello up as well. They're up to 13 now. Price range $454,900 to $919,000. That's an average cost per square foot of $284. The Grand is up as well. They have 78 homes available. $239,900 is the most affordable. $1,200,000 tops the list. It'll be interesting to see if they get that for that home. Their average cost per square foot is $280. Westbrook Village up 5. They're at 21. $305,000 the most affordable. $610,000 the most expensive. Their average cost per square foot is $279. Sun City West, 101 homes, so that's up about 8. $195,000 the most affordable, $795,000 the most expensive. So their average cost per square foot $233. Not bad. Sun City West on the golf course, there's 12 available.
Oh, okay.
350,000 is the most affordable. 799,950 tops the list.
Okay.
That comes out to an average cost per square foot of $259.
All right.
Sun City West with a pool, there's 7 available. 355,000 the most affordable. 749,900 the most expensive.
All right.
That comes out to $294 a square foot. Sun City West sold in the last 30 days. This is down 62. You're usually looking at close to 100.
Yeah. Well,
So it's down quite a bit.
you know those things are down.
The average sales price was $371,222, and as you alluded to earlier from the Cromford Report, that's 98% of list price.
Yeah.
Finally, Sun City West active average home price is $413,890. That's a cost per square foot of $233.
All right.
All right, that's
Good
our
stuff.
report. Hope everybody has a blessed rest of the week,
Yeah.
and we will see you again in a couple more weeks.
See you soon.
Take care.